Dear students, welcome to Chemistry Fundamentals. I am Dr. Rajiv Oberoi. Now the topic we are dealing with is Van 't Hoff factor, a very important topic in colligative properties. So we have been dealing with colligative properties. In the previous videos we have dealt with colligative properties. Now based on the colligative properties, we are capable of calculating the molecular mass. So we say that various colligative properties are used to calculate the molecular mass of unknown solute. The relative lowering of vapor pressure is one colligative property. Elevation of boiling point is another colligative property. Depression of freezing point is the third colligative property. Osmotic pressure is the next colligative properties. So these colligative property can be used to calculate the molecular mass of unknown solute. But the substance which is used as solute, if it associate or dissociate in the solution, then the number of particle changes. So what is colligative property we have done? Colligative properties are those properties which depends upon number of particles. Colligative properties are those properties which depends upon number of particle and get altered with alteration in number of particles. Those properties which depends upon number of particle and changes with change in number of particle are termed as colligative properties. So it means that if the substance which is used as solute, if it undergo association or dissociation in the solution, then the number of particle in the solution would be different than what it should be. By the change in number of particle, the colligative property is going to change. The colligative property is going to change. Therefore, the molecular mass we calculate, for example, in case of relative lowering of vapor pressure, the formula for relative lowering of vapor pressure is P0A minus PA upon P0A is equal to WB upon MB into MA upon WA. Now this formula can be readjusted to calculate the molecular weight MB. So in order to calculate the molecular weight MB, it is equal to P0A upon P0A minus PA into WB upon WA into MA. So this way we can calculate the molecular weight. We can calculate the molecular weight of unknown solid using relative lowering of vapor pressure. But the question arises that if the substance which is used as solute undergo association or dissociation, then number of particle in the system is going to change. Therefore, the colligative property is going to change. Hence, the molecular mass that would be calculated, using the colligative property will come to be different from its normal. That is, it comes to be abnormal. So this Van 't Hoff factor is the factor that deals with the abnormality in the molecular mass and removal of that abnormality. Why the molecular mass, the calculated molecular mass comes to be abnormal. This Van 't Hoff factor deals with why the calculated molecular mass comes to be abnormal and how that abnormality can be removed so that we get the normal molecular mass. Now similarly, elevation of boiling point. So we said that del TB is equal to KB into M, or del TB is equal to KB into WB upon MB into 1000 upon VA. What is M? M is molality. So now we can calculate the molecular mass. So if we want to calculate the molecular mass, now all these topic has been done in the previous video I have dealt with. The elevation of boiling point we have already dealt. The depression of freezing point we have already dealt. The elevation, the relative lowering of vapor pressure we have dealt. The osmotic pressure we have done. So in all those topics we have dealt with that these equation can be used to calculate the molecular mass. The equation can be used to calculate molecular mass. So we can calculate molecular mass of unknown solute based on elevation of boiling point. Based on elevation of boiling point. Similarly, we can calculate the molecular mass of unknown solute based on the depression of freezing point. So relative lowering of vapor pressure can be used to calculate the molecular mass of unknown solute. Elevation of boiling point can be used to calculate the molecular weight of unknown solute. Depression of freezing point can be used to calculate the molecular weight of unknown solute. Similarly, osmotic pressure can be used to calculate. Osmotic pressure pi is equal to m into r into t. Keeping the value of m, it is equal to pi is equal to wb upon mb into 1000 upon va into r into t, and this way we can calculate molecular weight. So what we do, we use the various colligative property to calculate the molecular weight of unknown solute. But the problem is the substance which is used as solute, if it undergo dissociation or association in the solution, the number of particles in the system is going to change, hence colligative property is going to change. These are the colligative property. Now colligative property is in the denominator. Colligative property is in the denominator. Colligative property is in the denominator. In all the cases the colligative property is in the denominator. If number of particle because of the association or the dissociation of the solute undergo the change, then this colligative property is going to change, hence the mass that we will calculate based on the colligative properties, the mass that would be calculated will come to be abnormal. What I am saying, that the substance which is used as solute, if it undergo dissociation or association, then number of particles in the system is going to change, therefore colligative property is going to change. Because of the change in the colligative property, the mass that would be calculated will come to be different from the normal, that is, it will come to be abnormal. In order to remove this abnormality, the Ventov factor is being introduced. So what is the importance of Ventov factor? So importance of Ventov factor is that it deals with the dissociation or association of the substance, so that the calculated or the observed molecular mass comes to be the normal. So in order to overcome the abnormality in the calculation, Ventov factor is very, very useful. This Ventov factor is represented by I. Ventov factor is represented by I. Now what is value of I? So remember कि with respect to molecular weight, I is equal to N by O. With respect to molecular weight, I is equal to N by O, where N stands for I is equal to N by O. N means normal molecular weight and O is observed molecular weight. So with respect to molecular weight, what is value of I? The value of I is N by O, normal molecular weight upon the observed molecular weight. Now with respect to colligative properties, so with respect to colligative properties, I is equal to O by N. I is equal to O by N. O stand for observed, N stand for normal. So I is equal to observed colligative properties upon the normal colligative properties. So what is value of I? So we say value of I is N by O, normal upon observed with respect to molecular weight, or I is equal to O by N, that is observed upon normal with respect to colligative property. So with respect to molecular weight, it is N by O, normal upon observed. With respect to colligative property, it is O by N, that is observed upon normal. So let us first deal with the dissociating substances. Those substances which dissociate in the solution. Those substances which dissociate in the solution. For dissociating substances like NaCl, KCl, KNO3, copper sulfate, etc. So those substances which dissociate, that is ionize in the solution, for them what would be the value of I? What would be the value of I? Now suppose if I take NaCl to explain you, NaCl. Now NaCl ionized to give Na plus plus Cl1 minus. NaCl ionized to give Na plus plus Cl1 minus. that is if system have one molecule of NaCl, because of ionization the effective number of particle will become 2. Suppose if we add one molecule of NaCl into the system, the effective number of particle in the system would be 2. Hence there would be difference in the normal and observed. Because of the ionization, that is dissociation. Now let us consider what should be the normal property and what is the observed. Suppose if we discuss number of particles. Now if number of particle in the system should be n, since 1 converts into 2, therefore total number of particle becomes 2n. The total number of particle becomes 2n. If number of particle becomes double, then for sure colligative property will become double. So if colligative property should be C, the normal one should be C, the observed would be 2C. The observed value would be 2C. Now since colligative property, as we have discussed, that colligative property is in the denominator, colligative property is in the denominator, therefore if colligative property becomes double, the molecular mass comes to be half. The molecular weight, normally it should be m, it will come to be m by 2. So the substance which dissociate in the solution like NaCl, KCl, KNO3 etc., for them if one particle suppose ionize into 2, therefore if number of particle in the system, normally it should be n, the observed value would be 2n. Hence colligative property, if it should be C, the observed would be 2C. Since colligative property is in the denominator in the equation, therefore if molecular weight should be m, it would be m by 2. Now if we apply this concept, if this concept is applied to the equation, now I said what is the value of I with respect to molecular weight? So I said with respect to molecular weight, I is equal to n by O. I said with respect to molecular weight, I is equal to n by O, that is normal molecular weight upon observed molecular weight. So what is the normal molecular weight? Normal molecular weight is m. And what is the observed molecular weight? Observed molecular weight is m by 2. The normal molecular weight is m, the observed molecular weight is m by 2, therefore normal upon observed will give you the value of I. So m upon m by 2, m cancel, I is equal to 2. So what is value of I? The value of I is 2 for NaCl. Value of I is 2 for NaCl with respect to molecular weight. Now if I consider the same using colligative properties, so with respect to colligative properties, since I is equal to O by N, since I is equal to O by N, what is O? It is the observed colligative property. O is the observed colligative property, N is the normal colligative property. So what is the value of observed colligative property? The value of observed colligative property is 2C. The value of observed colligative property is 2C. What is value of normal colligative property? It is C. So I is equal to O by N with respect to colligative property. Observed is 2C, normal is C. C cancel, I comes to be 2. So may it be with respect to molecular weight, may it be with respect to colligative property, for NaCl the value of I is coming to be 2. So in fact the value of I is for substance which dissociate, for them value of I is always equal to number of ions is provided on ionization. Very important. The value of I is number of ions it provides on ionization. NaCl ionized to give 2 ion. Since NaCl ionized to give 2 ion on ionization, therefore value of I will be 2. May it be with respect to molecular weight or colligative property, but I is equal to 2. Now if it is, suppose if I take CaCl2 ionized to give 1 calcium ion, 2 chloride ion, 3 ion in total, so value of I would be 3 and so on. So the value of I is the number of ions a substance provide on ionization, as in case of NaCl this value is 2 pi because NaCl ionized to give 2 ions. Therefore we say that value of I is equal to number of ions into which a molecule ionize. provided the ionization is 100%. This is very important. We say value of I is equal to number of ions into which a molecule ionize provided the ionization is 100%. If ionization is not 100%, then I will deal. But right now we are discussing that, well, I am saying that value of I is equal to number of ions into which the molecule ionize provided the ionization is 100%. So suppose you have taken NaCl. Now NaCl ion is to give one sodium ion, one chloride ion, 2 ion per molecule. 2 ion per molecule, therefore value of I is 2. MgCl2 ion is to give one magnesium ion, 2 chloride ion, 2 ions per molecule, therefore value of I is 3. AlCl3 ion is to give 1 Al and 3 Cl, total 4 ion per molecule, therefore I is equal to 4. Al2SO4 whole thrice ion is to give 2 aluminium ion, 3 sulfate ion, total 5 ion per molecule, therefore value of I is 5. But remember, this is only applicable when the substance is completely ionized. When a substance is completely ionized, that is ionization is 100%. But if ionization is not 100%, then now suppose if ionization is not 100%, the substance which is used as solute do not undergo 100% ionization. So we say, suppose if ionization is not 100%, then what would be the value of I? So for a purpose of example, we say if degree of ionization, we say the degree of ionization which is represented by alpha. Degree of ionization is represented by alpha. Suppose a substance is only 30% ionized. Just taking an example to explain you how it operates. We say if degree of ionization which is alpha, say it is 30%, that is it is 30 per 100, 30 upon 100, that is alpha comes to be 0.3. The alpha comes to be 0.3. So suppose if there is a substance which is ionizing into 2 ions. First case, a substance which is ionizing into 2 ion but ionization is not 100%. A substance which is ionizing into 2 ion, for substance ionizing into 2 ions, for example NaCl. Suppose if it is 100%, if this ionization is 100%, value of I is 2 for NaCl. But I am saying if it is not 100%, then what? So we are discussing a substance that ionizes into only 2 ions, for example NaCl. NaCl ion is to give Na plus plus Cl minus. So what is the initial value? What is the initial value? Suppose we have taken 100 molecule of NaCl. How many Na ion? No ion, 0, because there is no ionization yet. Initially we are talking NaCl 100. We have taken how many Na ion? 0. How many Cl ion? 0, because this is the initial case, which means that NaCl hasn't ionized. Now suppose if it has ionized to 30%, it has ionized to 30%. So how many Na would be formed? Suppose NaCl has ionized to 30%. So how many Na would be formed? 30. How many Cl would be formed? 30. And what would be NaCl left over? It is 100 minus 30, that is 70 would be left over. So for the substance which ionize into 2 ion, as we are discussing the molecule of NaCl, so we have taken 100 molecule of NaCl. Suppose out of 100, 30 have ionized. So initially it was 100. Now leftover is 100 minus 30, because 30 has ionized. So out of 100, 30 has ionized. 100 minus 30, 70 is leftover NaCl. But 30 has ionized. Therefore 30 Na plus ion, 30 Cl minus ion. So what would be the effective number of particles? What would be the effective number of particles? So effective number of particle would be in the system after ionization, Na would be 30, Cl would be 30 and NaCl would be 70. Na would be 30, Cl would be 30. So Na plus ion is 30, Cl minus ion is 30, NaCl leftover is 70. Therefore effective number of particle would be 30 plus 30 plus 70. 30 of NaCl, 30 of Cl, 30 of Na, 30 of Cl and 70 of NaCl. So effective number of particle is 30 plus 30 plus 70, that is total number of particle, that is effective number of particle is 130. the effective number of particle in the system after 30% ionization is 130, whereas the total number of particle in the system was 100. So we took 100 particle, 30% ionized, so effective number of particle became 130. We have taken 100 particles, but since only 30% has ionized, therefore effective number of particle in the system is 130. Total number of molecule was 100. Therefore I is equal to, so remember I is equal to effective number of particle, that is the observed value. The effective number of particle that is the observed value upon the total number of molecule, which is the normal value. So observed is 130, normal is 100, the observed number of particle is 130, the total number of particle is 100, therefore I comes to be 1.3. Effective number of particle upon total number of molecule, effective number of particle 130, total number of molecule 100, this value of I comes to be 1.3. Now since I is equal to 1.3, I can write I is equal to 1 plus 0.3. I is 1.3, I can write 1 plus 0.3. Now what is value of 0.3? So I said value, this 0.3 is alpha. I said that since alpha is 30%, this is what we started with. Alpha is equal to 30%, 30 per 100, that is 0.3. So what is 0.3? 0.3 is alpha. This 0.3 is alpha. 0.3 is alpha. Therefore instead of 0.3 I can write 1 plus alpha. So what is value of I? The value of I for those substance which ionize into 2 ion but ionization is not 100%, for it I is equal to 1 plus alpha. 1 plus alpha. This is 1 plus 0.3. 0.3 is alpha. So I is equal to 1 plus alpha. So we can rediscuss this example. Now there are two conditions. First condition is when ionization is 100%, and second condition when ionization is not 100%. When ionization is 100%, and second condition is when ionization is not 100%. So NaCl, which ionized to give 2 ions per molecule, 1 sodium ion, 1 chloride ion, for it value of I is 2 provided ionization is 100%. But if it is not 100%, say degree of ionization is alpha, then I is equal to 1 plus alpha. It is 2 when 100% ionization is there, but if it is not, then I is equal to 1 plus alpha, where alpha is degree of ionization. Those substances which ionize into 3, for it value of I is 3 when ionization is 100%. If not, then value of I is 1 plus 2 alpha. Alpha is degree of ionization. Those which ionize into 4, for them I is equal to 4 when ionization is 100%. If not, then I is equal to 1 plus 3 alpha. For those which ionize into 5, value of I is 1 plus 4 alpha when ionization is not 100%, and this alpha is degree of ionization. So question based on Van't Hoff factor is very, very important. We have dealt with, right now we are dealing with those substances which dissociate, that is ionize in the solution. At the same time there are substances which associate in the solution. So for dissociating substance, this is how we calculate the value of I. The value of I is calculated this way for the substance which dissociate in solution.